The game of Yu-Gi-Oh has many different cards, but not all are created equal. Throughout the history of this card game, certain decks have naturally excelled and beaten more forgettable cards into the mud without a second thought. Those cards faded into obscurity as the meta progressed, falling even more behind as greater complex strategies developed. Well, it's finally time to give those cards a chance to shine in a format where they can do what they do best, in Edison. Will I be playing the meta decks of the time in this series? No. Will I even be forging the new best decks in Edison format? Instead, my plan is to salvage the scraps of forgotten cardboard that litter the depths of Yu-Gi-Oh binders to figure out which cards really are the best of the worst. What's something you admire in a person? Friendliness? Honesty? Not playing Max C against you? Well, Ocean's Keeper is a card that has even more than all of that. Perseverance. This little fish is ready to help you defend the ocean, and he'll do whatever it takes, even if he keeps getting knocked down. Again, and again, and again, and again, and again. The point is, Ocean's Keeper knows his place, and he's ready to fight. Today we'll be trying to make this little-known fish work, with the help of a lot of trap cards and his big brother Cranium Fish, who has a little more IQ than him. Hopefully we can win against the Edison meta, and let's dive right into the deck profile. So first let's spotlight Ocean's Keeper. It's a fish with 1500 attack that inexplicably has the ability to do piercing battle damage, I guess. It also searches Cranium Fish when it's destroyed by battle, which is the better effect. Cranium Fish itself can be special summoned by attributing one Ocean's Keeper, which is nice, and also can destroy any set card by discarding a water monster. This includes spells, traps, and monsters. Then for some more fish, we have Abyssal King Shark, which can avoid things like Mirror Force, I guess, and has a good attack stat. Honestly, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here because a lot of fish monsters in Edison format aren't the best. We also have 3 Golden Flying Fish, and this card can contribute another fish to target a card on the field and destroy that target, which is pretty good removal. This also pairs well with Oystermeister, which, if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, can special summon an Oyster token, which means you can theoretically pop 2 cards in the field without disruption. Then we have 2 Deep Sea Diva to summon any level 5 synchros with Spine Gilman, 3 Mother Grizzly to float into Ocean's Keeper, or even Deep Sea Diva if you need a tuner on the field, 2 Royal Swamp Eel, which is a level 4 tuner, but it needs to be synchro summoned with only fish monsters. Then we have 1 Sangan to search out Deep Sea Diva, Ocean's Keeper, or even Mother Grizzly. And for the spells, we have 1 Brain Control, 2 Creature Swap for the 6 cards that benefit off of being destroyed by battle, 1 Heavy Storm, and 1 MST. Then for the traps, we have 2 Bottomless Trap Hole, 1 Call of the Haunted, 3 Dimensional Prison, and 3 of the glue that holds this deck together, Fish Depth Charge. This card is basically a worse Gemini Spark, and that's good enough. It tributes a monster to pop a card on the field and gets you an extra draw. So in simplified game states, this card is great. Then we have Mirror Force, Royal Oppression, Solemn Judgment, 2 Starlight Road, and 1 Torrential Tribute. In the side deck, we have 2 Cyber Dragons for machine-type decks that could overrun our control-type strategy, 3 DD Crow for graveyard-reliant strategies, 3 Noblemen of Crossout, 1 Mind Control, 1 Jar of Avarice, 2 Light Imprisoning Mirror, 2 Pulling the Rug, and an extra Royal Oppression in the side deck. Then for the extra deck, we have Chimera Fortress Dragon, and pretty much all the good synchros of Edison format. So yeah, that's the deck profile. Let's get into the replays. So I do win the dice roll, so I'm able to go first, and this hand is pretty good we have Fish Depth Charge and Creature Swap along with Mother Grizzly, so that will help later in the game, but I just pass by setting Mother Grizzly and Fish Depth Charge for next turn. So my opponent activates Gold Sarcophagus, and this will allow me to see what he's on, and it turns out he's on X-Sabers because he banishes the Fultro, and he goes for a 3-set move and just ends turn there. I draw another creature swap, which is not really necessary right now, but I'm able to summon Abyssal King Shark and attack his set Air Bellum, which he lets go there, and yeah, I'm just ready to go to the next turn, so I just pass, and he summons Full Helm Knight here to negate any attack I might try, but I do have the creature swap in my hand, so I'm able to take his Full Helm Knight and give him the Mother Grizzly. I then summon another King Shark, but he books the Full Helm Knight, not allowing me to go into any synchros here. I don't really even want to do that because I just want to like get in for more damage here, so I just attack the Grizzly and summon out Ocean's Keeper and attack with the other King Shark and the Ocean's Keeper. So he's kind of on the ropes here. He has to get 2 X-Saber monsters on the field, which is kind of hard from this position, and after he sees his hand, he just admits defeat. It turns out he had another emergency call, Trap Stun, Book of Moon, and another emergency call in his hand, so yeah, there was really not a lot of ways for him to get that Fultro. So this game kind of exemplified the power of creature swap and giving Mother Grizzly and just like getting the board presence on the field and taking your opponent's monsters at the same time. So that game was kind of quick, so we'll just do another replay. So for the second replay, I also win the die roll, so I'm able to go first. This hand is it's alright. We do have two Mother Grizzly, which isn't the best, but I just set that and pass. And my opponent starts with Charge of the Light Brigade, which is kind of scary for me. He does mill 2 Lightsworns, which isn't good, and picks up Lumina to his hand. He then summons Lumina and discards Garroth to summon Garroth back to the field. Then he just attacks my Mother Grizzly, and I just go for the Ocean's Keeper then. Then he mills a few cards, and he does hit a wolf, so he already has 3 Lightsworns on his side of the field, and he does have a light and dark in his graveyard now because he did mill the Gores. So things aren't looking too good here. I'm forced to just set the Mother Grizzly and attack his Lumina, and he drops Trag down. Then I set my Royal Oppression and Mirror Force, and then he summons Aaron and tries to attack my Mother Grizzly. I do save the Mirror Force here because I want my Ocean's Keeper to be destroyed so I can get the Cranium Fish Search, which I do before taking 2100 more from the wolf. He sets 1 and mills a few more cards, including a Necro Gardener. So on my turn, I'm able to Brain Control his Tragodia and tribute it off for my Cranium Fish and activate its effect, discarding Oystermeister and trying to go after his back row. It turns out it's Threatening Roar, so not a big deal. I set my Bottomless Trap Hole and the Ocean's Keeper, and I didn't realize at the time, but that's 2 normal summons, so kind of cheating there, but I don't think it matters that much in this game. I activate Royal Oppression here to negate his Chaos Sork and activate Mirror Force to get rid of his Lightsworns. And he does set 1 card. However, If it's Lightsworn, I'm pretty sure it's probably a Raikou. So I don't want to deal with that, so I just discard my Ocean's Keeper to destroy the Raikou and go in with both of my monsters. And he draws, sets, and admits defeat. Because he drew a Plague Spreader zombie. So yeah, that's kind of the power of this deck. Once you have Cranium Fish on the field and some water monsters in your hand, you can just keep destroying any set monsters your opponent has, like Raikou, and they won't be able to activate their effects. Or just back row even, because it does not specify spells, traps, or monsters. Royal Oppression kind of carried this game. If I didn't have that, he would have been able to summon Chaos Sorcerer, and it turns out he also had Judgment Dragon in his hand, and he did have 4 Lightsworns in grave. But, yep, so that's the replays. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and with the new intro, and Ocean's Keeper, and yeah, I hope you guys play it, and see how good it is. Yes.